Jesús Gabriel Martínez Benítez.
Jesús Gabriel Martínez Benítez.
Morning, sir. This is the time set for your initial appearance.
Buenos días, señores. Esta es la hora que se ha programado para la comparecencia inicial.
I'm seeing you today on some new misdemeanor charges from Pima County Justice Court.
Y estoy viendo aquí que se le imputaron unas faltas adicionales del condado, del Tribunal del Juzgado de Paz.
The charges are for
Del
driving.
condado.
The counts are for driving under the influence,
Y los cargos son por manejo bajo la influencia
consuming alcohol while being a driver,
y por consumir alcohol mientras que estaba conduciendo
having an open container of alcohol in the passenger area,
y por haber traído también un contenedor abierto de alcohol en el área del copiloto.
You have the
Sí.
right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Y tiene el derecho a no declarar nada. Cualquier cosa que usted declare o diga se usará en su contra.
You have the right to hire your own attorney.
Tiene el derecho a contratar su propio abogado.
In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you.
Y en ciertos instantes, si usted no puede contratar uno porque no tiene los medios económicos, se le podría asignar uno por el tribunal.
I will appoint Peter Gutierrez to represent you.
Asignaré a Peter Gutiérrez para que lo represente.
And sir, it does appear that you have a hold from the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Bureau.
Y señor, ¿es cierto que usted tiene una orden de detención del Departamento de Aduanas e Inmigración?
No, que yo yo no sabía de eso.
I had no knowledge of that, no.
Okay. Well, because of the hold, sir, I am going to impose a bond in this case of $500.
Bien, señor, dado a que sí existe una orden de detención, voy a fijar una fianza de $500 en su caso.
It will be cash or secured.
Se puede depositar esa fianza ya sea en efectivo o asegurada.
If you do post the bond and the hold is lifted, conditions of any release include do not drive without a valid driver's license and no drugs, no alcohol.
Entonces, si se deposita esa fianza y por alguna razón le relevan esa detención, tiene prohibido manejar sin licencia válida. And, Your Honor, can the court have the last part of the alcohol?
Do not drive without a valid driver's license and no drugs, no alcohol.
O drugs and alcohol. Ok, entonces tiene prohibido conducir sin una licencia vigente y también tiene prohibido tener o usar drogas o alcohol.
Right.
Okay.
As long as the ICE hold is in place, sir, if you post that $500 bond, you'll be taken into their custody, so you may lose the bond.
Señor, también le tengo que informar que siempre y cuando exista una detención del Departamento de ICE o de Inmigración, si usted paga la fianza de $500, es posible que la confisquen luego y tampoco que la pierda y también que se lo lleven ellos.
All right, your next court date will be tomorrow, June 19th at 1 p.m.
Su siguiente audiencia será mañana, el 19 de junio a la 1 de la tarde.
If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video. Your attorney, Mr. Gutierrez, should be there.
Y si todavía está detenido, lo vamos a ver o se va a presentar por video y su abogado, el señor Gutiérrez, estará presente en esa llamada de video.
If you fail to appear for court, whether it's tomorrow or any future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Y si no se presenta a una audiencia, ya sea mañana o algún otro día, en alguna otra fecha posterior, se podría expedir una orden de arresto en su contra.
Okay.
Right. Do you understand all that, sir, Mr. Martinez Benitez?
¿Sí entendió todo eso, señor Martínez Benítez? Yes.
Sí.
All right, thank you,
Sí,
sir.
claro.
Oh, go ahead.
Bien, entonces, muchas gracias, señor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may the interpreter be excused?
Sorry, did he have a question?
Oh, tenía una pregunta, señor.
De eso del arresto de inmigración. No.
¿Perdón?
Del arresto de inmigración nomás, eso nomás es la que tenía de...
I just had a question on the immigration arrest.
So it's a
That's
hold.
it.
It's a hold. So they want you into their custody for, I don't know why, but it's a hold. So unless that lifts, that hold is there, you have to remain in custody until that hold lifts, or you post your bond and you'll be taken into their custody.
Bien, mire, es una orden de detención, no es una resolución, es una orden de detención. Ellos quieren que usted pase a manos de ellos porque tienen una orden de detención ellos, pero no sé por qué. Entonces, a no ser que usted, si usted no paga la fianza o no deposita la fianza, todavía va a quedar detenido. Y si paga la fianza, and Your Honor, if the bond is paid, can you repeat that for the interpreter, please?
So if the bond is paid and the hold is in place, you'll be taken into ICE custody. If ICE hold is removed, then you can get released if bond is paid.
Entonces, si usted paga la fianza, pasa a custodia del Departamento de Inmigración. Si la orden de detención la releva o la quita ICE, entonces ahí sí puede salir libre.
But you'll have an
Okay.
attorney tomorrow, sir. You can ask him more questions about it.
Y señor, mañana ya va a tener un abogado disponible, así es de que le puede hacer más preguntas si es que tiene más dudas.
Okay.
Ok,
All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
ya se puede retirar, señor. Gracias. And Your Honor, may the interpreter be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Let's see, that's accurate.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Brandon John James Higdon.
All right, thank you. Mr. James Higdon, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you for charges out of Tucson City Court. There appears to be a failure to appear for a shoplifting and then some new charges of drug paraphernalia and possessing a
Yeah.
shopping cart. It does look like you have a hold as well from Superior Court for failure to appear. I'm not seeing you on that today. You'll be seen by separate judge in Superior Court on that. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you today, sir. Give me one moment. All right, I'm going to impose a bond of $200 due to the failure to appear and also because you already have that failure to appear hold in Superior Court. You'll have an attorney to help you with your case, sir. Conditions if you post the bond include no drugs, no alcohol, do not return to the incident location. Next court date will be next week, June 27th at 1:45 p.m. in Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. As you can see, trial can go in your absence. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. James Higdon? Thank you, sir. You're excused for today. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Sean Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of Oro Valley Justice Court for new misdemeanor charges of domestic violence assault and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Your sister is also here in court in your support. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. All right, sir. So today I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. That just means you don't have to check in with anyone. You just have to make sure you show up to court. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence. It appears there's a minor child listed as a victim as well, just no unsupervised contact with the alleged victim, minor child. You may have continued contact with Ginger Renner, and you are allowed to return to the shared residence, but that's up to you. All right, your next court date will be July 23rd at 10 a.m. at the Oro Valley Justice Court. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. And if you can't make it for whatever date, there's a phone number there. You call them and let them know to reschedule. If you fail to show
Sure.
without calling them, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that,
Sure.
Mr. Riley?
I do.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's right, we have that page, which is there, let's see it there. No.
Yes.
What's your name?
Alejandro Gutierrez.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Good morning, Honor Alejandro Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a post-indictment matter out of Pima County Superior Court, CR 2025-2588. The charges are for aggravated harassment, domestic violence, aggravated domestic violence, which are felonies, and there's some misdemeanors, failure to comply with the court order, domestic violence, and disorderly conduct. These are alleged to have occurred in March of this year, 2025. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report. There is no interim complaint since this is a post-indictment matter. There was a grand jury warrant. The state's written recommendation is $25,000, which is the amount on the warrant. Mr. Poston, does the state want to be heard further? And Mr. Poston, I believe you're on mute.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking you to release Mr. Gutierrez on his own recognizance. The reason being that he has already been facing charges from this incident since that very day in, I believe it's Tucson City Court, misdemeanor charges there. He already bonded out in this matter. He also had a probation matter that he already faced a petition to revoke and has been placed back on probation in that matter. If you release him, certainly the number of people that will be following his progress going forward is already considerable, and there's no reason to add on additional matters to that. And a judge has already reviewed this case and found that he was appropriate for probation, which means that concerns for community supervision or protection of the public have already been reviewed. He's already been found to be appropriate for probation. So I'm asking you to go ahead and release him on this matter and allow us to pursue this while he is also performing his duties on probation in the other matter. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I do see that the dates are aligned with the city court matter. However, it's unclear whether they're exactly the same charges or arising out of the same incident. There also appears to be an active order of protection as well. So I do believe a bond is appropriate, but I'm going to lower the amount from the grand jury warrant, impose the bond of $10,000. It will be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if bond is posted. Any terms of release would include no drugs, no alcohol, absolutely no acts of domestic violence, no weapons, any monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no contact with the alleged victim of the case, sir. Don't try to go find her. There's an active order of protection with that same alleged victim petitioner. So all terms of that active order of protection at this time. All right, your next court date will be next Wednesday, June 25th at 1:30 p.m. for a criminal arraignment at Superior Court. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Your Honor, jail here.
Yes.
We are still waiting for Mr. Zarate to come into the courtroom. Would it be possible if he makes it right before the felonies that we can see him then?
That's fine. And actually, we're trying to request Ms. Naomi Aguilar,
Yes.
if she can be brought sooner rather than later.
Aguilar, you said, Naomi?
Yes.
Okay. Oops. Mr. Zarate has actually just made it into the courtroom, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Leonard Zarate?
Thank you, Mr. Zarate. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today for a Yavapai County Superior Court warrant. Looks like the charges are for aggravated assault on an officer, aggravated domestic violence, 2 counts. Those are felonies. And then there's a misdemeanor criminal damage. These are charges from October of 2024 out of, like I said, Yavapai County. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, I see you have a local charge pending in Pima County Superior Court. You have a sentencing coming up next month,
Yes, on the 18th?
July 18th.
Yes.
Okay, and that's a prison-only plea?
Yes.
So I will reset this out-of-county matter for a review hearing July 25th at 9 a.m. To see what the status is, make sure you've gotten sentenced on your other matter or if it's been pushed back for whatever reason. I will impose a bond of $25,000 cash on this case. So basically, after all your local charges are resolved, then Yavapai County should be taking you into their custody to resolve this case.
Okay.
All right? All right. That's your excuse for today. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell. You had a question where there's another case?
Your Honor, with that,
Your Honor, the staff here is asking if that hold was on both cases.
No, the 25,000 is on this Yavapai County. Oh, yes.
I think there are 2 Yavapai County cases I'm hearing.
Okay, yes, they'll be on both.
Oh, all right, there you go.
Aguilar. Please.
Hello, can I have your full name, please?
Naomi Ann Aguilar.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. This is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a charge of domestic violence aggravated assault, which is a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'll be appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. We'll have a victim present in the courtroom. Ma'am, did you want to be heard? Did you want to be heard on release conditions?
Yes.
Well,
You want to be heard on release conditions. Okay. And what is your name? And what did you want me to know? Okay, is that a shared child? No. Okay. I don't know if council was able to hear that. Ms. It's much of the same sentiments that's included in the pretrial services report. Fear of Ms. Aguilar returning to the residence, causing additional harm, etc. The victim does intend to move out at some point, but needs some additional time, so would prefer that the defendant remain in custody. Okay. All right. The state's written recommendation is a $25,000 bond. Mr. Poston, is there anything further?
Your Honor, state submits on the written record.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking for pretrial services release. I would point out that the pretrial services staff have already verified that she has a brother in town who is able and willing to provide support, provide a residence. She's a long-term resident. She has full-time employment, and she has no history of felony or domestic violence arrests on her record. So at this point, I'd like to help preserve her job, and there's no reason to believe that she would be unwilling or unable or non-compliant in any way. No reason to believe that she would be any danger to try to make contact with or re-confront the victim. She's fully willing and able to comply with your orders. I'm asking you to release her pretrial services and order her to have no contact and no visit to that residence.
All right. Thank you. The court will also note that I did receive a Form 4 risk assessment in this case. It does indicate a high risk. All right. Based on the allegations of the offenses, and the views of the victim, I do believe a high bond is appropriate. I'll impose a bond of $25,000 in this matter. Cash or secured, released to pretrial services if the bond is posted. Conditions of any release, ma'am, would include absolutely no acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the residence. You may return one time with police escort to pick up any personal belongings. But otherwise, no contact with her. You must establish a separate residence. No weapons. Any monitoring and treatment directed by pretrial. No drugs, no alcohol. Your next court date, ma'am, will be a preliminary hearing on June 30th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand that, Ms. Aguilar?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
So that's I'll send you around. Put us in the next spot. Thank you. That's a good thing. First.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Lázaro Pérez Fragoso.
Thank you, Mr. Fragoso. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Marana City Court, so for some new misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct, domestic violence, 4 counts. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, if I release you today, do you have somewhere you can stay that is not with Olivia?
Yes,
Where would you stay?
with my mother or a cousin of mine.
Okay. And are they local in Tucson?
Yes.
Right, so I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. That just means you don't have to check in with anyone other than showing up for court. Conditions of your release include no acts of domestic violence. At this time, no contact with Olivia Fragoso. You can return one time with police escort to your residence to pick up any personal belongings, but you must establish a separate residence at this time, and no unsupervised contact with the minor grandchildren who are listed as victims as well. Your next court,
No contacts with no contacts with my grandchildren?
unsupervised contact.
Okay, I'm
Another
sorry.
adult is there, as long as another adult is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Your next court date will be July 23rd at 10 a.m. at the Marana City Court. When you get released from jail today, sir, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. There'll be a phone number on there as well. For whatever reason, if you can't make that date, call them and let them know to reschedule. Otherwise, if you don't and you don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Fragoso?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Wow. What I say about things here, I have seen her come. Over here, right here.
All right, good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Ashley Jessica Manuel.
Thank you, Ms. Manuel. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of Pima County Justice Court for some new charges. They are for shoplifting and drug paraphernalia, which are misdemeanors. Also seeing you out of Tucson City Court for failures to appear. The charges are for criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, prescription drugs, and additional counts of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your Tucson City Court case, ma'am, I'll appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. I will be setting some release conditions for you on both of your cases. Just give me one moment.
Okay.
Okay. On your Tucson City Court case, ma'am, because of the failures to appear, I will impose a bond of $250. It will be cash or secured. If you do post the bond, if your release conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not return to the incident locations. Your next court date's next week, June 27th at 1:45 p.m. and your attorney, the Tucson City Public Defender, will be there. And then for your Pima County Justice Court new charges on that one, ma'am, I will release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not return to the incident location. Next court date for that is June 30th at 8:30 a.m. If you're still in custody because of the Tucson City Court stuff, you'll be seen by video. As you can see, ma'am, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Ms. Manuel?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You're excused for today.
Make sure you go downstairs first. Yeah, sorry.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Edward Frank Martin Osoyo.
Thank you, Mr. Osoyo. This is the time set for you today on new misdemeanor charges at a Pima County Justice Court. They are for threatening and intimidating and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. And I also see that you're currently on felony probation out of Superior Court as well. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be setting some release conditions for you, Mr. Osoyo. I believe we have the victim present on the phone.
Ma'am?
All right, hold on, sir. All right, do we have a victim on the phone in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what is your name?
Ruth Freeman.
Okay, and what did you want me to know?
I just wanted you to know that I never meant for anything like this to be escalated. I let Mr. Osoyo know that our relationship was done. I watch his house when he's on the road. I watch his dog and feed him, water his plants. And I'm just not well enough to do this anymore. And I let him know this in May.
Okay.
I
All
did
right,
not
so now we
return
don't need
any
to
of
talk
his
about
phone
the
calls.
right now. I don't need to know about the facts of the case or what happened exactly.
Okay.
I just need to know if you want further contact with him, or if you want him released from custody.
I don't want him to lose his job or anything. I just want him just to leave me alone and return anything that he had borrowed from me, like I guess the battery charger from my deceased husband, and just for him to stay in his
Okay,
yard.
hold on, Mr. Soyo, hold on. All right, and ma'am, you said you want no contact with him. Is that correct?
Yes, I think it's best.
Okay. And you do not reside at the same residence?
No, we're neighbors.
All right, thank you. Okay, sir. So I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. So I'm going to let you out of jail today. That just means you don't have to check in with anyone other than making sure you show up to court. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with Ms. Freeman. You heard what she had to say.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's true or not that you have any of her belongings, but if you do, you can return it with police escort or through a third party. Okay, don't go over to her house or anything. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm a out-of-state trucker and I have a business. Is it possible that I could get extended maybe 5 weeks so I could take my truck back to Chicago if I may? I drive from Chicago to Washington for 6 weeks and then I come home for 12 days.
Okay, so hold on, let me finish with my things and let me address your concern about being out of state for work. Okay. All right. And you have a probation officer on your Superior Court matter, so make sure you contact your probation officer when you get released from jail. So the next court date, sir, is June 30th, which is within that 5-week period you're talking about at 10:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. When you get released from jail today, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information, including a phone number. So call them and let you know about your job situation, see if you can get a new date or if there's a way that you can appear virtually. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
As long as you keep in contact with them, you should be good. All right. Okay. And
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you fail to appear for court and you don't contact them, sir, even if it is for work, a warrant can issue for your arrest because the court doesn't know where you're at. Okay. So just
I understand that. I'm on OSM monitoring by the phone, so I check in every day
very good.
with the police officer.
And so you understand all that, sir, in terms of making sure you show up to court.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. You're excused for today, Mr. Osoyo. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Mr. Snyder?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Miles Gerard Snyder.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Snyder. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I am seeing you out of Pima County Justice Court for failure to appear for domestic violence disorderly conduct and a failure to appear for shoplifting. You also have new charges of domestic violence threatening, intimidating, as well as domestic violence disorderly conduct. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing Janet Altschuler to represent you. I believe she represented you previously in your justice cases. She'll be representing you on all three of these matters. All right, so because of the failures to appear and there were bond amounts on the warrants, I am going to impose a bond of $750 on all three cases. They will be concurrent. If you do post the bond, sir, if you're released, conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victims, not return to any victim's residence, etc. Your next court date, sir, is actually going to be tomorrow. So you'll see a judge tomorrow, June 19th at 1 p.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video and Ms. Altschuler will be there. As you can see, sir, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Silent.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Tyler Davis Wyrock.
Thank you, Mr. Wyrock. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of South Tucson City Court. Looks like there's a failure to appear for shoplifting, and also out of Pima County Justice Court, there's a failure to appear for shoplifting for criminal trespass, and another one for shoplifting. And then also out of Tucson City Court, failure to appear for shoplifting and drug paraphernalia. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your Tucson City Court case, I will appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. On your South Tucson case, I'll appoint Michael Vaughn to represent you. And on your Justice Court cases, I'll appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you. I believe she represented you previously. All right, so I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. Due to the failures to appear, I do think bonds are appropriate here. It is very important, sir, that you show up for court. So on your South Tucson City Court case, the bond amount is $200. It will be cash or secured. Conditions of release include do not return to instant location. You'll see a judge tomorrow, June 19th at 10 a.m. For your Justice Court cases, it'll be a $500 bond, cash or secured. It'll be concurrent across all three Justice Court cases. Next court date is tomorrow, June 19th at 1 p.m. So you'll see two judges tomorrow, one for South Tucson and one for Justice Court. You'll have attorneys on both of those. And then for your Tucson City Court case, I've already appointed the Tucson City Public Defender. Next court date is going to be next week, June 27th at 1:45 p.m. The bond is going to be $100, cash or secured. Conditions of your release for all of these are the same. No drugs, no alcohol. Do not return to the incident location or contact with any business victims. So as you can see, sorry?
That means I'm staying in jail or I'm going home.
You have bonds on all three cases.
Okay, so that means I'm staying in.
You're staying here for now. You have attorneys on all your cases. You'll see a judge for two of them tomorrow and one of them next week. All right.
Thank you.
All right. You're excused for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, can I get your full name, please?
George Stephen Godwin.
Mr. Godwin, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of Tucson City Court for some new misdemeanor charges for assault and disorderly conduct, both alleged to be domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. All right, sir. So today I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Miss Sarah, your wife is okay with further contact and she's okay with you returning to your shared residence. Conditions of your release include do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Your next court date at the Tucson City Court will be July 29th at 1:30 p.m. When you get released from jail today, sir, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that July 29th date on the sheet of paper or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
One moment, sir. Let me just check something. I was just checking your court date, sir. All right, and for whatever reason, if you can't make that court date, you call them and let them know to reschedule, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. To clarify, it's July 29th at 1:30, correct?
July 29th at 1:30, you'll get a sheet of paper with that information.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your excuse for today. Thank you.
Mr. Henry? Did you read that? Good morning.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Donald Eugene Henley.
All right, thank you, Mr. Henley. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for some failures to appear out of Tucson City Court for being in the park closed after hours and for criminal trespass. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, today I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so that just means you don't have to check in with
It happened a long time ago before they started to
that
repair the
happened
truck.
last year. Okay.
I know.
So just make sure, sir, you show up to court. I'm going to give you your next court date. It's going to be July 23rd at 2:30 p.m. As you can see, sir, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. So it's very important that you make that court date. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand all that, sir?
I certainly do, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're excused for today, sir.
God bless. Excuse?
Right, this.
You're excused.
Mr. Molina?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Cesar Molina.
You have a middle name, German?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Molina. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Tucson City Court for some misdemeanor charges of domestic violence, criminal damage, domestic violence assault, and drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Just give me one moment. All right, sir. So if I release you today, do you have somewhere you can stay that is not with Melissa?
Yes.
And where would you stay?
My dad.
He lives in Tucson?
Yes.
And did you have a shared residence before with Melissa?
No.
No? Okay. All right, sir. I am going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. That just means that you don't have to check in with anyone other than making sure you show up to court. Conditions of your release include not committing acts of domestic violence, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with Melissa Casillas at this time. Don't try to go find her at her home or her work or anything, okay? All right, your next court date is July 29th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. It's in your best interest to show up to court and get this taken care of. You understand all that, Mr. Molina?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Raynor?
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
William Tanner Ridenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Ridenauer. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Tucson City Court today for some new misdemeanor charges for domestic violence assault and domestic violence criminal damage. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Give me one moment, sir. Okay. If I release you today, do you have somewhere you can go that is not with Alexia? And where would you stay?
My apartment. I live alone.
Okay, all right. All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. That just means you don't have to check in with anyone other than making sure you show up to court. Conditions of your release include do not commit acts of domestic violence, no contact with Alexia Kosin at this time. Thank you. Don't try to go find her residence or her work or anything like that. Your next court date, sir, is going to be on July 29th at 1:30 p.m. When you get released from jail today, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. If you can't make it for whatever reason, call them. There's a phone number on the sheet you'll get and let them know to reschedule. If you fail to appear for court and you don't keep in contact with the court to reschedule, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Reitner?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Your excuse for today.
Mr. Black. On the position of speaker, yes, sir.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Ted Baxter Black.
All right, thank you, Mr. Black. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Tucson City Court for some failures to appear, drug paraphernalia. It looks like there's a new charge of paraphernalia as well. These are both misdemeanors. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defenders to represent you. And sir, it looks like you have a hold from adult probation from Superior Court. I'm not seeing you on that today. You'll be seen by Superior Court judge on any probation matter over there by a different judge. All right, because of the failure to appear, sir, I am going to impose a bond of $100. In this case, it will be cash or secured. If you do post it or if you're released, conditions include no drugs, no alcohol. Next court day will be next week, June 27th at 1:45 p.m. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video and the Tucson City Public Defender. Your attorney will be there. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Black?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. When enter not guilty, please on your behalf. Your excuse for today, sir. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Sean Michael Guffrey.
Sorry, one more time.
Sean Michael Guffrey.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Guffrey, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of Pima County Justice Court. Looks like there was a failure to appear for a driving under the influence charge. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you. Looks like she represented you previously in this case. All right, there was a bond amount on the warrant. The offense date from this is 2014. The bond amount was $500. Warrant was issued last year. It looks like this is post adjudication. Okay. All right, so I will honor the bond amount on the warrant of $500, sir. It will be cash or secured. If you do post it, conditions include, of course, do not drive without a valid driver's license. Your next court date will be tomorrow, June 19th at 1 p.m. You'll be seen by video if you're still in custody. Ms. Altschuler will be there. As you can see, sir, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Guffrey?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're excused for today. No, they didn't.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Justin Joel Sampson.
Are you a junior?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Sampson. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge of possession of narcotic drugs. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $2,500 bond and screen for steps. Mr. Poston, is that all correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking you to release or pretrial services release and screen for steps. I point out that Mr. Samsoon's criminal history is over 10 years old at this point, and that he is a long-term resident of this community. He has verified community support, residence, and this is a simple possession drug case.
Thank you. Mr. Samsoon, the state is saying you may be eligible to participate in a drug treatment diversion program. Would you be interested?
Yes.
Okay. That program, sir, is called STEPS. I'm going to set you a STEPS hearing for next Wednesday, June 25th at 9 a.m. So they do a screening to see if you qualify for it, and if you do, you'll find out next week about it.
Okay.
All right. I will release you to pretrial services. You have to keep in contact with the pretrial services officer as frequently as they're asking you to, and they'll keep you updated on the STEPS program as well. If you don't show up, sir, to next Wednesday's STEPS hearing, they won't consider you. So it's very important if you want to participate in that to show up next week.
Okay.
Mr. Coulter, waive time for the preliminary hearing.
Yes, Judge.
The preliminary hearing is set back to August 4th at 1:30. So, sir, that is the next court date after the steps, just to make sure that there's a placeholder there. If you qualify for the program, you complete it successfully, they dismiss the felony charges. That's why they push that date back. All right.
Okay.
Conditions of your pretrial release, sir, include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring treatment directed by pretrial, no contact with the co-defendant Jessica Van Sant regarding this case. All right. And if you fail to appear for court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Samsoon?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
All around, just section. Okay. Oh,
All right. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
My name is Eric Alexander Hatchell.
Thank you, Mr. Hatchell.
Eric.
This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today out of Tucson City Court for some new misdemeanor charges, assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. So, sir, if I release you today, is there somewhere you can go that is not with your mother?
Yeah.
Where would you go stay?
Yeah.
Where would you go stay, sir?
I might be able to stay at my sister's.
Okay, she lives in Tucson?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I will release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. That just means you don't have to check in
Today?
with anyone.
Today the same day?
No,
Excuse me?
you're getting released today, sir. You're getting released today. Okay, are you listening? All right. Conditions of your release include no contact with your mother at this time. Do not go to her house or anything. If you have any personal belongings you have to pick up, you have to go with law enforcement escort one time to pick up those personal belongings. You cannot return alone. You understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Your next court date will be July 21st at 9:30 a.m. at the Tucson City Court. When you get released from jail today, you'll get issued a paper with all the information. Right? If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Hatchell?
Yes.
All right. right, sir, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. You're excused for today, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. At the jail, what happened to Mr. Godinez?
He was a post release, Your Honor.
Oh, okay,
He was
thank
a
you.
post release.
All right, fellas, you want to find out?
Yeah, go around, participate in the country. All the way around.
Sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Antonio Jean Castaneda.
Thank you, Mr. Castaneda. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on some new felony charges of possession of narcotic drugs and possession of a weapon during a felony drug offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Office of Legal Advocate to represent you. If counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I've reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $7,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Colton? Or Coulter?
Your Honor, Mr. Castaneda is a long-term resident. He has full-time employment. And according to the pretrial services report, this is the very first felony he's ever received. I'd point out as well that the drug offense in question is a simple possession offense. This is not a case of sales or anything of that sort. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I'm asking you to release him to pretrial services supervision.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Castaneda, I will release to pretrial services. I think that is appropriate. You have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. No drugs, no alcohol while you're on release, no weapons whatsoever. Your next court date, sir, will be July 8th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the Office of Legal Advocate. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that July 8th date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Castaneda?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Sure you stay in touch with pretrial services and your lawyer. All right, thank you, sir.
Ms. Chavez?
All right, good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
My name is Soledad Maria Chavez.
Thank you, Ms. Chavez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for a new felony charge of disorderly conduct with a weapon, domestic violence, and also a misdemeanor out of Pima County, out of Marana City, or excuse me, out of Oro Valley City Court for criminal damage, domestic violence. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney. For your felony case, I'll appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have an attorney seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions from you, ma'am. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. I believe the victim is on the line and wants to be heard.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that Mr. Alexander?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what did you want me to know?
I just wanted you to know that I think she's going through a bit of a postpartum issue. We had a baby 9 months ago, and she's yet to see a doctor. And I think she needs mental health assistance, jail time.
Okay,
And I think the most important thing, as far as I would not like her to come back here to our residence. Like I said, we have the baby here, and I didn't think she was capable of these things, but yesterday proved me wrong, and as of right now, I do not feel that it is safe for her to come here.
Are you okay with contact regarding the child? Anything regarding parenting?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And the state's written recommendation is $5,000. Mr. Poston, does the state want to be heard further?
Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I would just point out that Ms. Chavez has no history of felony or domestic violence or even misdemeanor arrests or convictions, and that she has family support in town, so her residence has already been verified apart from the alleged victims. I believe that this is appropriate for pretrial services release. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, so Ms. Chavez, you heard what Alexander had to say. I am going to release you to pretrial services. Conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, no acts of domestic violence, no weapons, any monitoring and treatment. As directed by pretrial, you keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. You are not to reside with Mr. Alexander. You have to provide a separate residence, establish a separate residence from him. You can return with police escort one time to pick up some personal belongings. No contact with Mr. Alexander unless communication is in regards to parenting of your shared child. All permitted communication must be free of threats, profanity, or any attempts to reconcile. And I don't know if DCS is involved, but any and all terms imposed by Department of Child Safety if they were involved here. All right, your next court date, ma'am, will be July 8th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender. If you fail to appear for court, ma'am, whether it's that date, July 8th, or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Ms. Chavez?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then with the Oro Valley case, it's going to be the same conditions, ma'am, except I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, meaning you don't have to check in with anyone. The same conditions about no domestic violence, no contact with the victim unless it's about the child, etc. Next court date for that will be July 14th at 10:30 a.m. at the Oro Valley City Court. So when you get released from jail today, ma'am, you'll get 2 sheets of paper with the information about both courts.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Graham Joseph Covarrubias.
Thank you, Mr. Covarrubias. This is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for some new felony charges: domestic violence, aggravated harassment, domestic violence, disorderly conduct with a weapon, and possession of a weapon by primitive possessor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $25,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking you to release Mr. Covarrubias to pretrial services supervision. And I point out that the victim does not object to his release. And we'll submit on the rest of the pretrial services report.
All right, thank you. Given the information in the pretrial services report and the interim complaint, I do think a bond is appropriate. I will impose a bond of $25,000. It will be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if bond is posted. So if you do post that bond or if you're released, conditions of your release include: do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring treatment directed by pretrial, no contact with the alleged victim, Tina, in this case. Don't go to her house or anything like that. If you have property at the shared residence, you can return with police escort to pick up your personal belongings. Otherwise, you must establish alternate residence. Your next court date, Mr. Covarrubias, will be a preliminary hearing on June 30th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, sir, whether it's that June 30th or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Mr. B.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Good morning, my name is Austin Travis D.
Thank you, Mr. D. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for some new felony charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, which is a felony, alleged to be domestic violence. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Office of Legal Advocate to represent you. And you have counsel seated next to you for today. I will be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. I did not receive a Form 4 risk assessment. The state's written recommendation is a $10,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I just point out in the record that Mr. D is a long-term resident. He has full-time employment. He has a verified residence apart from the victim. And he has no history of felony or domestic violence on his record. I believe pretrial services supervision is appropriate in this case.
All right, thank you. Due to the alleged use of a weapon, I do think a bond is appropriate. I'll impose a bond of $5,000. Will be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if bond is posted. Sir, conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, absolutely no acts of domestic violence, no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim in the matter. Don't try to go find her work, or her residence, anything like that. No weapons whatsoever, any monitoring treatment directed by pretrial. You keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. Otherwise, you can go back into custody after you post bond. All right, next court date, sir, is a preliminary hearing on June 30th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, Mr. D, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. D. You're excused for today.
All right, so
Mr. Denwood.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Yes, Craig Michael Gemmerling.
Thank you, Mr. Dimmerling. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today out of Pima County Superior Court for post-indictment matter CR 2025-0899. The charges are for aggravated driving under the influence. 2 counts. These are alleged to have occurred in December of 2021. Also seeing you for post-adjudicated warrants out of Green Valley Justice Court and Saurita Municipal Court. Looks like the Saurita one is for a theft, offense date of January 24, and then for Green Valley, it's a engaging in contracting without a license, which is from November of 22. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your felony matter, sir, One moment. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. I'll be setting some release conditions for you on all 3 of your cases, starting with the felony case, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report. This is post-indictment, so there's no interim. The state's written recommendation was a $2,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Coulter, the summons in this matter was sent to a 23 Chelsea Lane in Elgin. If you could confirm whether that was a good or a bad address.
Just a moment. Your Honor, Mr. Dimmerling didn't receive the summons to court, didn't have any knowledge of this case, and he is a long-term resident with full-time employment that has been verified. And in fact, during the 3 years that the state has taken to charge this case, he has been engaged with the court and with probation and actually completed an entire series of probation successfully in a different matter. So, Your Honor, for these reasons, I believe Mr. Dimmerling presents an absolutely stellar case for supervision by pretrial services and no indication that he would be any risk to the public or any risk for non-cooperation with the court. My feeling, Your Honor, is that if he'd received this summons, he would have happily cooperated. So I'm asking you to release him to pretrial services.
Okay, thank you. And sorry, and just to confirm, that is still a good address. You just did not receive the summons?
Correct.
And Mr. Coulter, could you clarify the employment on pretrial services? It says occupation teacher, but on the booking sheet it says working at Amazon.
Hold on one moment, Your Honor.
I'm missing work today.
Your Honor, the discrepancy there is due to a change in jobs, and he is currently a teacher. He teaches at a local business in person. He's missing his job today, in fact, because of this, and he teaches EMS services, so he is engaged every day in that.
All right, thank you. All right, the court does believe that release to pretrial is appropriate on the felony matter. Sir, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. On your felony case, conditions include, of course, do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial. You keep in contact with them, sir, as frequently as they ask you to. Your next court date is actually next Wednesday, June 25th at 1:30 p.m. at the Superior Courthouse downtown. As you can see, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. All right, on your Green Valley Justice Court case, sir, I am going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. That just means you don't have to keep in contact with anyone other than showing up for court. Next court date is June 26th. That's next week at 8:30 a.m. And then for your Sahuarita Municipal Court case, I'm also going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not have contact with the alleged victim of whatever that case was. Next court date is July 15th at 8:30 a.m. So, sir, when you get released from jail today, you'll have 3 sheets of paper, one for the Sahuarita date, one for Green Valley, and one for the Superior Court for next week. You have to keep in contact with pretrial for the felony case, but you have to make sure you make your court dates for the other ones. As you can see, if you don't, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And obviously, you want to make sure you keep your job and everything, so make sure they know if you need to be absent for whatever reason. All right, do you understand all that, Mr. Dimmerling?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, thank you, sir. Your excuse for today.
Yes.
Gutierrez.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Luis Gutierrez Jr.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. This is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing today for some new felony charges of aggravated driving under the influence while license suspended. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have an attorney seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, Mr. Gutierrez is a long-term resident with full-time employment. And the DUIs that are appearing in the pretrial services report are very old at this point. I'm asking you to go ahead and release him to pretrial services supervision with orders not to drive without a valid license.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gutierrez, I will release you to pretrial services. You'll get out of jail today. Conditions include, of course, do not drive without a valid driver's license, no drugs, no alcohol while your case is ongoing, no weapons, any monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, so you keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. Your next court date, sir, will be July 8th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender. If you fail to appear for court, sir, whether it's that July 8th date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
There you go.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I have your full name, please?
Michael Jamal Lemon.
Thank you, Mr. Lemon. This is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a post-indictment matter from Superior Court, CR 2025-2068. The charge is for criminal trespass in the first degree. It's a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir. We have an attorney seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, Mr. Lemon. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. Here's that the summons that was issued in this matter was returned mail. It was sent to an address on Elbow Bay Place. All right, the state's written recommendation is a $1,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking for release to pretrial services. First of all, this is a very low-level felony, criminal trespass. He has verified, pretrial services has verified that he is a long-term resident, that he has family support to assist him. And the return of the summons is an indication that we have no knowledge of this. So, Your Honor, I think pretrial services supervision is appropriate.
Thank you. All right, sir, I am going to release you to pretrial services. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring and treatment directed by pretrial, no contact with the alleged victim of the trespass. Don't go back there, wherever that was. Your next court date is next Wednesday, June 25th at 1:30 p.m. at the 3rd floor of the Superior Courthouse for your arraignment. If you fail to appear for court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Lemon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Back.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Micah Shane Mackley.
Thank you, Mr. Mackley. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today there's some new felony charges, arson of a structure or property, also some misdemeanors, reckless burning, disorderly conduct, and a failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court, which is an assault. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your felony case, I will appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated next to you for purposes of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir, starting with the felony case. Looks like, so I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's recommendation is a no bond hearing. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr.
Your Honor, we would like the bond eligibility hearing, please.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Mackley, what that means is when someone is pending felony charges and they get arrested on new felony charges, the state can request a no bond hearing. They have to provide evidence by an officer or some other testifying witness to support why that no bond should remain in place. All right, so I will set you a no bond hearing, sir, June 23rd. That's going to be Monday at 2:30 p.m. All right, and then the next date after that will be the preliminary hearing on July 8th.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What was that date? The sound broke up.
The no bond hearing is scheduled June 23rd at 2:30 p.m. That's next Monday at 2:30. And then the preliminary hearing date will remain July 8th at 1:30 p.m. Or excuse me, June 30th. Excuse me. Preliminary hearing is June 30th at 1:30 p.m.
What courtroom?
So the no bond hearing should be on the 3rd floor. Counsel, you have to check in on that because it's kind of up in the air right now, which division is handling the no bonds at 2:30s.
Thank you.
Welcome. And then regarding the failure to appear for Justice Court, Mr. Mackley, the bond amount on that was $500. I'm going to honor the bond. The judge who issued the warrant, it will be $500, cash or secured. If you do post the bond or if you are released, no contact with the alleged victim of that case. I'll appoint you an attorney, sir, Peter Gutierrez. Next court date will be tomorrow, June 19th at 1 p.m. for the Pima County Justice Court. So you'll be seen by video and your attorney, Mr. Gutierrez, will be there. All right, as you can see.
Can I see somebody not by video?
Well, the no bond hearing will be transported for next Monday.
I'm living in the quagmire of bullshit and virtual reality. I would like to speak to a real person who's actually involved with a real court system.
All right, well, this is a real court system. The laws do allow for virtual appearances.
No, it's not. It's a bunch of fucking, like,
all right,
vortices to fucking tell me ass.
You'll be seen by judge tomorrow for your justice court case. You'll be seen by judge next Monday in person for your bond hearing.
My family's full of shit.
All right, you're excused for today. Thank you. All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Robert Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for some new felony charges for aggravated assault on a peace officer, 2 counts, and criminal damage. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, there are obvious mental health concerns that I think are both apparent for what he needs on release and also in the offense itself. I'm asking you to go ahead and release him to pretrial services supervision. And I would just point out he has no felony record. This would be his very first felony. I believe we need to give him an opportunity to get some help in the community and to appear in court as I believe that he is capable of doing. There's no reason to believe he's not capable of that at this point. I'm recommending release to pretrial services.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to impose a bond of $2,500 in this case. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if bond is posted. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring treatment is directed by pretrial. Do not initiate contact with the alleged victims. All right, Mr. Moore, your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on June 30th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with the attorney, the public defender. If you fail to appear for court, sir, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Moore?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Mr. Pennington?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
It's Mark Dwayne Pennington.
Thank you, Mr. Pennington. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on some new felony charges, possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is released to pretrial and screen for steps. Mr. Poston, is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
I agree, Your Honor, and we'll waive time on the preliminary hearing.
Thank you. So, Mr. Pennington, the state is saying you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment drug diversion program. Would you be interested?
Yes, ma'am.
So that program is called STEPS. So we'll set you a STEPS hearing. They do a screening to see if you qualify. The STEPS hearing will be next Wednesday, June 25th at 9 a.m. I am going to release you today to pretrial services, so you have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. You need to show up next Wednesday to see if you qualify for that STEPS hearing. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you, so it's very important. If you do qualify, you participated in it, and you complete it successfully, they dismiss the felony charges. All right, conditions of your release include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring treatment directed by pretrial. Next court date after the STEPS hearing will be August 4th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. They push that back, sir, so that you have time to complete the program if you qualify for it. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Pennington?
I understand.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Finales. No, finales. O igual. Finales. Robert, finales.
want to go ahead with one of these? Oh, yeah. Yes. No, right. 42 probably. Yeah.
Get your full name, please.
That's Robert Pinellas Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Pinellas. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new felony charge for felony shoplifting. You also have a failure to appear at a Tucson City Court for a trespass and a theft. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your felony case, I'll appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have counsel seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir, Mr. Pinellas, on both the Tucson City and the felony case. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $1,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking for release to pretrial services. The report indicates Mr. Pinellas is a long-term resident of the community, has verified family support in the community, and this is a very low-level offense, a shoplifting offense with no indication of violence. The only felony on his record is 8 years old at this point. I believe pretrial services supervision is appropriate.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Pinellas, I will release you to pretrial services, so you're getting out of jail today. Conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Monitoring treatment is directed by pretrial. Do not return to the Walgreens on Valencia. All right, your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on July 8th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And sir, on your Tucson City Court cases, I will release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. That just means you don't have to check in with anyone other than showing up for court. Conditions include do not return to the incident location, the business of the alleged shoplifting. It looks like it's a business on 1225 West Irvington. All right, next court date for Tucson City is July 21st at 2:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. As you can see, sir, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
If you need some assistance on housing outside the jail when you get released, there's something called the Pima County Transition Center. They provide some support for housing and temporary assistance like that. Okay, so check in with them.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse for today. Thank you.
This fast?
I'm sorry.
Morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Yeah, Mohammed Ali Jassi, Mohammed Khalid Rafat.
Thank you, Mr. Rifat. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new felony charge for unlawful flight from law enforcement vehicle. You also have a misdemeanor for driving on a suspended license, which is out of Marana City Court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you on your felony case. And you have counsel seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir, on both of your matters. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $1,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, before addressing release conditions, I'm asking you to dismiss the felony complaint. The complaint's insufficient on its face, and if you look at what the officer has said here, he says in the complaint that he was preparing to make a stop but had not actually started. He had not actually indicated to Mr. Rafat that he was trying to stop him or was going to stop him, and that in fact he was being tracked by air. There was no active pursuit going on. He says over and over again that Mr. Rafat was aware of his presence, but that is not sufficient. That is not the standard. That is not an element of the charge. Mr. Rafat has to be aware that he was being pulled over, and the officer simply wasn't doing that. He describes a variety of moving offenses which don't rise to a felony level, but he does not describe flight from a law enforcement officer who's trying to pull him over in this case. So on that basis, Your Honor, please dismiss the felony complaint.
Mr. Poston,
State submits.
just rereading the interim. Okay. I do not see evidence in the interim complaint that lights and sirens were activated to show that there was pursuing law enforcement. Um, So the court does not find probable cause on the felony flight charge.
Seems.
All right, does the state have a position of the dismissal without prejudice, or at this time just affirming a preliminary hearing date and having Mr. Rifat be released?
The latter, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so what that means, sir, is I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear on your felony case. I'm not finding PC at this time, but under the rules, the state can still proceed with charges if there's additional information that comes up. So I will schedule a preliminary hearing on July 8th at 25. You still have your attorney. All right. And then for your Marana City Court case, sir, that one I will release you on your own promise to appear as well. That one conditions include do not drive without a valid driver's license. Next court date for that will be July 23rd at 10 a.m. at the Marana City Court. All right, if you fail to appear for court, sir, warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Rifat?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused for today. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Justin Patrick Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for several matters. One is a post indictment from Pima County Superior Court, CR 2024-3378, for possession of dangerous drugs, narcotic drugs, and drug paraphernalia. Those are felonies. You also have a Marana City Court failure to appear for a shoplifting, new charges out of Marana for paraphernalia and shoplifting, Tucson City Court failure to appear for drug paraphernalia and criminal trespass, and new charges for, the new charges for drug paraphernalia shoplifting are out of Tucson City Court. Marana is just the failure to appear. So you have three courts I'm seeing you on. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In your felony case, I will appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir, in all three matters. I have reviewed the pretrial service report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $500 bond. Mr. Poston, does the state want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, Mr. Sims would like to be released to pretrial services supervision. And I would just point out that he is a member of a very vulnerable community, and frequently a lot of stresses in that situation cause them to forget their court hearings. He's indicated that he forgot this hearing, that he forgot to stay in contact with his attorney. I ask you to admonish him, remind him of that, release him to pretrial services, and I will give him instructions on the Housing Assistance Center so that he can have a place to live and stay in contact with his lawyer. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Let me just review the misdemeanor cases. Okay. All right, Mr. Coulter, if the court holds Mr. Sims on the misdemeanor cases, would you like a nominal bond on the felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sims, I am concerned about your failure to appear rate. Some of the misdemeanor cases are quite old from 2023. So because I'm going to be holding you on the misdemeanor cases, I will impose a bond of $100 on the felony case. It's nominal, just so you're getting some time of credit. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if the bond is posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring treatment is directed by pretrial. Next court date is next Wednesday, June 25th at 1:30 p.m. for your arraignment. As you can see, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. On your Miranda case, sir, the bond amount was $350, so I'll honor that court's bond amount, $350, cash or secured on the Miranda case. If you do post the bond, conditions include no drugs, no alcohol, do not go to the incident location, the business of the shoplifting. Next court date is June 18th at 12 p.m., so that's actually today. You'll see a judge on it. All right, and I'm going to appoint an attorney. Going to be Miss Altschuler, Janet Altschuler. So you'll be seen by video, assuming you're still in custody, and Miss Altschuler will be there. All right, and for your Tucson City Court case matter, sir, I'll appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Since those were failures to appear as well, I impose a bond of $250, cash or secured. You do post the bond if you're released, no drugs, no alcohol. Do not return to the businesses, the incident locations of the shopliftings. Next court date is June 27th, so that's next week at 1:45 p.m. As you can see, sir, when you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but unable to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Sims?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. You're excused for today. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf on the new city charges. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
And Ms. Van Sant. Yeah. Where this up, this side,
Hi, good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Jessica Judith Van Sant.
Okay, Ms. Van Sant, this is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges: possession of a weapon by prohibited possessor, possession of narcotic drugs, and tampering with physical evidence, which are felonies. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint Christian Salter to represent you, and you've counsel seated next to you for today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, Ms. Van Sant. I've reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Coulter?
Your Honor, I'm asking for release to pretrial services. And if you review the interim complaint, you'll see that although there is a charge here for a firearm, there's no indication that she was actually in possession of the firearm, at least not personal possession. I'm assuming the state is going for some kind of constructive possession sort of argument here. I call that to your attention, but also the pretrial services report indicates she's a long-term resident of this community. She has a verified residence. And largely the core of this charge is simple possession of a narcotic drug. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I'm asking you to release to pretrial services.
All right, thank you. All right, I am going to impose a bond in this case of $2,500. It will be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if the bond is posted. And if you do post the bond, if you're released, conditions of your release would include any monitoring treatment as directed by pretrial, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons whatsoever. No contact with the co-defendant Justin Sanson regarding this case. Your next court date, ma'am, will be a preliminary hearing on June 30th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Salter. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Ms. Van Sant?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're excused for today. All right, I believe that's everyone.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good day, Your Honor.
You got your application covered? Yeah, I wanted this. Thank you. One else. Thank you for writing the names. Yeah, you're welcome. All rise.
Oh. Okay. All right, thank you. Please be seated. And officer, do we have one interpreter matter or more than one?
I believe just one.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right. Just getting booted up. Can the interpreter hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, this is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for June 18th, 2025.
Este es el calendario de comparecencias iniciales de las 11 de la mañana del 18 de junio del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of finger. Hang on.
No.
Check. It seems to have stopped. Okay, sorry. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall also apply to all of these hearings.
Las órdenes judiciales para la toma de muestras de ADN y huellas dactilares que se giraron en el calendario de las 2 de la mañana del 1 de este mes también van a aplicar a todas estas causas.
Mr. Reyes, Adan Reyes, will you please come all the way to the podium?
El señor Reyes, Adán Reyes, por favor pase hasta el podio.
Good morning, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Buen día, señor. ¿Me da su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Adán Sánchez Reyes, nací el 5 de abril de 1997.
Adán Sánchez Reyes. I was born on April 5th, 1997.
All right, thank you. You are here on a warrant in a pending criminal case.
Se lo agradezco. Usted se encuentra aquí debido a una orden de detención de un caso de materia penal que está pendiente.
In this case, you have been charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, identity theft, a Class 4 felony, and forgery, a Class 4 felony.
En este caso, a usted se le está imputando con la tenencia de droga nociva, un delito de clase 4, usurpación de identidad, delito de clase 4, y falsificación, delito de clase 4.
You already have a lawyer appointed for you in this case.
¿Usted ya tiene un abogado para este caso?
No, todavía.
I'm scheduling 2 court dates for you in this case.
Voy a programar 2 audiencias judiciales para usted, para este caso.
Okay.
The first is a status conference June 24th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court.
La primera de ellas es una consulta de actualización para el 24 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior en Downtown.
And the second is a preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30 in the morning.
Y la segunda es una audiencia preliminar el día 26 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a $500 secured appearance bond and written release conditions you're ordered to comply with.
Usted va a tener una fianza, una caución real de $500 y se va a ordenar que usted cumpla con todas las medidas cautelares que van a estar por escrito.
Those include not possessing any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription.
Estas incluyen que usted no debe estar en tenencia de ningún arma o droga sin una receta vigente.
If you step to your left, the officer will give you your copy. Thank you.
Si pasa hacia su izquierda, el agente le va a dar la copia del papeleo. Gracias.
Gracias.
All right, and could the interpreter make a general call for me? Just make sure we don't have anybody else.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. ¿Se encuentra alguien más en la sala que requiera asistencia de un intérprete? Si puede alzar la mano si hay alguien que necesita un intérprete.
Okay, looks like we have no hands.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. All righty. Mickey Moreno, will you please come to the podium? After that, Andres Chairez Ruiz, will you please go to the chair? We need Mickey Moreno to the podium, please. Mr. Chairez to the chair. Yep, right there. Right there, Moreno, thank you. Good morning. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Nikki M. Monique Moreno, 12/21/1985.
Okay, thanks. You're before the court on two things. One is a new case, one is a probation warrant. I'm going to start with your new case. In this case, you have been accused of theft of a means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. I am appointing a lawyer for you. I'm scheduling 2 court dates. One is a status conference, June 24th at 8:30 in the morning. Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for June 26th at 8:30. Those will be in the downtown Superior Court, and the address is on your paperwork. In this new case, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond with written release conditions that include no going to the scene of any crime, primarily the theft of means crime, no contact with any alleged victim or any co-defendants you may have, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Now, you're also here on a probation warrant. You were in warrant status in a probation case already. On May 14th, there was a petition to revoke files. It alleges that you violated Term 6. You'll get a copy of that from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you in the probation case also. Your next court date in the probation case will be a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on March 25th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. That will be on your paperwork. And pursuant to Arizona law, it is ordered holding you without bond in your probation case. You do not have bond today in the probation case. You do have $25,000 in the new case, but you should wait to post that to make sure that you can get out on everything before you go posting bond. If you step to your left, you get a copy of that paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Chairez Reese and Fahad Almadi, will you please go to the chair? Right here, sir. Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Andres Eduardo Chairez Ruiz, April 3rd, 1995.
All right, thank you. You're here on one allegation of transportation for sale and or sale of narcotic drugs. That's a Class 2 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. I'm scheduling 2 court dates for you. The first one is the status conference, June 24th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30. Those will be in the downtown Superior Court, and the address is on your paperwork. In this case, your bond is $25,000. It is cash only. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions. Those include no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. This gentleman has your paperwork for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Almadi? And then Adela Arispe, will you please go to the chair?
Hello, how you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good, thank you. May I have your full name and date of birth?
Yes, ma'am. My full name is Fahad Wassan Al-Mahdi.
All right, and what's your date of birth?
December 14, 2003.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for burglary in the first degree, which is a Class 2 felony, kidnapping, which this court finds probable cause for as a Class 2 felony, 2 allegations of aggravated assault, which the court finds probable cause for as Class 3 felonies, criminal trespass in the first degree, a Class 6 felony, disorderly conduct with a weapon or dangerous instrument, that's a Class 6 felony, and criminal damage as a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for all of those. Looks like the alleged offense date is May 26, 2025. All right, I am appointing a lawyer for you. And I'm setting your first 2 court dates. Those are a status conference, June 24th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30 in the morning. The address will be on your paperwork. Now, the county attorney recommended a $150,000 secured appearance bond in your case. I understand why they did that. I believe on these facts, as the court currently understands them, that is more than is appropriate. I'm telling you the amount they requested because I want you to take seriously the weight that the county attorney's office assigns to what you are accused of. The allegations absolutely include guns, and the types of circumstances that tend to result in violated release conditions. So, in your case, this court, for the reasons set forth in my written order, sets bail in the amount of $25,000 secured. Secured means you can use a bail bondsman to possibly post bail for less than the full amount. If you post it, you will be on an ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services. The purpose of the ankle monitor is to keep you away from the alleged victims. You may not go to the scene of the alleged crime. Absolutely no contact with the alleged victims. You may not respond to any contact from them. What I meant to do there. That means if they contact you first, you are not legally entitled to respond. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Obey any order of protection or order against harassment that could be served on you. And I will let you know what you are accused of, if this is what they charge you with, if this is what you get convicted on. Some of these are prison mandatory. You should be very, very careful to comply with release conditions. Don't do anything that could get you accused of violating a no victim contact order. The best thing that will happen is you get a higher bond. The worst thing that will happen is you get held no bond on a new crime. So read your conditions, comply with those. Do not miss any court dates if you bond out. If you step to your left, you have your paperwork.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Arispe, Adela Arispe.
After the shift.
Good
Hi,
morning,
ma'am.
Your
Can I have
Honor.
your full name and your date of birth?
Adela Tia Risby,
Okay, what's your date of birth, ma'am?
12/4/1964.
Okay, thank you. You're in a warrant from the Yuma County Superior Court. And in this case, it appears you've been charged with taking contraband into a correctional facility, a Class 2 felony, possession of dangerous drugs, and possession of narcotic drugs. Those are both Class 4 felonies. Also, drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I am going to let them know they should appoint a lawyer for you when you get there. Your court date in Yuma County is June 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. That's 5 days from now, which is Monday, I believe. Yeah, this Monday, June 23rd at 8:30 down in Yuma. I am affirming the bond ordered by the Yuma County judge, which is $30,000 secured. If you post it, you need to be in Yuma on Monday, or you could lose that money. There'll be a warrant issued for your arrest. If you do not post it, the Yuma County sheriffs will arrange your transport from Maricopa. If you step to your left, he's got your paperwork for you. Thank you. All right, Mr. Villasenor, will you come to the podium? After that, Johnny Lopez, will you go to the chair? All right, hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Fernando Villaseñor, December 9th, 1996.
96 or 86?
96.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for armed robbery, a Class 2 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date will be a status conference June 24th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30 in the same court. That address will be on your paperwork. Now, the state recommended a $50,000 secured appearance bond in your case. Again, I understand why they might recommend that. I believe on these facts, this court believes that is more than is necessary to meet the purposes of bail. So bail is set in your case in the amount of $10,000. It is secured. If you post it, you're ordered to comply with all of your written conditions. You may not go to any part of the business where the crime allegedly occurred, including parking lots, no contact with any of its employees, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, absolutely no contact with the alleged victims. If you step to your left, you're going to get a copy of your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lopez, Johnny Lopez. And then Kassan Sweeter or Suter, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Johnny Robert Lopez, January 14th, 1991.
All right, thank you. You're on a new case. You were arrested for possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. It is a Class 4 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference, June 24th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Preliminary hearing, June 26th at 8:30. The court address is on your paperwork. And in this case, the state requested a $25,000 cash bail. I'm quite sure that is based on your priors. That being said, they are not accusing you of anything immediately beyond the mere possession of the weapon, which they've shown probable cause for, and the illegality of it for you. So this court is setting bail in your case at $10,000. It is cash only, not cash only, I apologize. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with your release conditions. Do not miss your court dates. Everything is on your paperwork. It, of course, includes no weapons. If you step to your left, you get a copy of that paperwork. All right, Mr. Suter, and then Dominique Warren, will you please go to the chair? Hello, may I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Yes, of course. Kassan Suter, Kassan Clarence Suter, 0508-1998.
What did you say before your last name the second time? Sometime Suter?
Clarence.
Okay,
Kassan
no
Clarence
problem.
Suter.
Sorry,
Sorry
trying
about
to
that.
process that. Okay. You're here on two things. One is a new case, one is a probation hold. In the new case, you were arrested for threatening and intimidating as a Class 3 felony, aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, a Class 4 felony, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, a Class 5 felony, and disobeying a court order, a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date will be in the downtown Superior Court. The address is on your paperwork. That'll be a status conference June 24th at 8:30 with a preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30. In this new case, your bond is $2,500 secured with written conditions that include alcohol and drug testing and a strict prohibition against driving. Regardless of the status of your license, you do not have permission to drive. It is at least a misdemeanor to violate that order. You're also here because you are on probation for endangerment and DUI. The probation department will be filing a petition to revoke your probation based on the allegation of these new crimes, so you will need a lawyer, and I am appointing one for you. Your next court date will be in the downtown probation court. The address is on your paperwork. It is a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing June 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That will all be on your paperwork. In this case, your bond is $2,500 secured. That is in addition to the $2,500 in the older case. And I'll let you know.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is a typo or not. The state recommended a $100,000 secured appearance bond for you. Okay, that may be a typo, and they may have meant 10,000. Even so, I wanted to let you know. So, your total bond is $5,000 secured across both cases with alcohol and drug testing mandatory. I believe probation probably already has the authority to do that. This mandates that they do it.
Okay.
No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, absolutely no driving. Everything's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you get a copy of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Ms. Warren? All right, after Ms. Warren will be Jason Kendra. If you go to the chair, Mr. Kendra. Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Dominique Warren, 10/18/04.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for resisting arrest as a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date will be in the downtown Superior Court. The address is on your paperwork. Your status conference will be June 24th. That's this Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30. In this case, your bond is $2,000. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with your conditions. Do not miss court. No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. You may not leave the state of Arizona without the court's permission. Everything's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you get a copy. Okay, thank you. All righty. After Mr. Kendra will be Trevon Smith. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Hi, Jason Michael Gendra, April 12th, 1991.
All right, thanks. You're here on two probation warrants. You're on probation in 2 felony cases. There were petitions to revoke filed in both of your cases. Those petitions to revoke allege that you violated terms 3, 5, and 15. You get a copy of those from your lawyer at your next court date. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you in both cases. You're going to have the same next court date for both cases. It'll be in the downtown probation court. Address is on your paperwork. A revocation arraignment, June 25 at 8:30 in the morning. We'll set that together with a possible disposition hearing. In number 21 on the calendar, your bond is $500 secured. In number 22 on the calendar, it is $250 secured. So that is $750 total across both cases with written conditions. And if you step to your left, the officer is going to give you a copy. Call your PO if you do bond out. The number's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, sir, you're all done. Thank you. All right, Mr. Smith, you come forward. After that, Flor Luna, will you please go to the chair? Good morning, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Trayvon Jermaine Mordell Smith, in 08-2299.
Okay, thanks. You're on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 6 felony, and there was a petition to revoke your probation filed back on March 31st. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. The next court date is in the downtown probation court. The address will be on your paperwork. It's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing, June 25th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm affirming the bond set by the probation court in your case. It is $500 secured with release conditions. If you bond out, follow those. Call your PO within 72 hours. The number's on your paperwork.
Thank you.
Grab that. You're all done. Thank you. Ms. Luna? And then Monique Richardson, will you go to the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Flor Luna, May 23rd, 87.
All right, thank you. You're here on two things. One is an arrest warrant in a newly charged case, and the other one is a probation hold. In the newly charged case, there's been a criminal complaint filed against you, charging you with 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of narcotic drug possession. Those are Class 4 felonies. 1 count of unlawful use of a means of transportation, that's a Class 5 felony. Drug paraphernalia possession, that's a Class 6 felony. And shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Your next court date, I am appointing a lawyer for you, sorry, in this case and in probation court. But your next court date for this new case is going to be in the downtown Superior Court, address on your paperwork. That's a status conference, June 24th at 8:30, preliminary hearing, June 26th at 8:30. Now, probation also, by policy, they will be filing a petition to revoke your probation based at least in part on this new offense. It does also appear from looking at probation notes, there will be multiple technical violations as well. It appears they were in the process of likely seeking a warrant for you already in your probation case. I did not see that it had issued though, but you'll get a total listing of the allegations against you in a petition to revoke at your next court hearing. Not ready. Your revocation arraignment and disposition hearing in the probation case will be June 25th at 8:30 in the morning. Those are in the downtown Superior Court. That's going to be on your paperwork. All right. In the probation case, your bond is $500 secured. In the new case, because you otherwise would have had a lower risk recommendation, although you have a lot of priors.
Well, that's
I'm setting a $50 placeholder. So your total bond is $550 secured. You have written release conditions. Your order to comply with. Now, what did you want to say?
Oh, no, I was going to say, when they issued the warrant, I sent the summons to an old address. So
yeah, I presume that.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't give you any extra bond.
Yeah.
In the new case, I gave you a placeholder bond
Yeah.
of $50. You have $500 in the probation case though, because the court does not trust you to get out and comply. So you're $550 total. If you bond out, probation's number is on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Call them within 72 hours. Because you're still on probation,
Yeah.
even while you're in revocation, and you can only help yourself by complying
Yeah,
while revocation
she let me
is
know
happening.
last week that I had that warrant. She's like, "Go take care of it."
I haven't seen it. I don't know that it's hit the system, but from what I could see, they put in the paperwork. I just don't know that it's. I don't know where it is right now.
What's a placeholder bond?
A placeholder means it makes you eligible for credit for time in custody. It also ensures that if you don't make bond, if you're stuck in the jail, the sheriffs will physically take you to court for those hearings, because if you're technically released in that case, they will not take you to court. They only take people to court who have a bond in that current case. They have to be in custody in the very case that has a hearing. So if you have a family court hearing, if you have some other court hearing, they're not going to take you. So you need some bond sitting on the book before they are obligated to bring you from Estrella jail to court. Yes. So that's what a placeholder is. Everybody in the system knows what it is. Everything else is on your paperwork. So if you just step to your left, you'll be back in court next week.
Is it a secured bond or?
It's secured, yeah. You can use a bail bondsman and you'll be back in court next week.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty, Ms. Richardson, after that, Jamisha Bruce, will you please go to the chair? Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Monique Richardson, 043091.
All right, thank you. You are here on a warrant in a pending case, and looks like you've been charged with narcotic drug possession of Class 4 felony. You already have a lawyer appointed. Your next court date will be in the downtown Superior Court. It's a status conference June 24th at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30. I'm affirming the bond in your case. It is $250 secured. If you post it, comply with your conditions. Do not miss your court dates. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork if you step to your left.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Booz. After that, Fernando Dick, will you please go to the chair? Good morning, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Good morning. Jamie Shabooz, October 10th, 1997.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a warrant from the Peoria City Court, where it looks like you have a pending case. It's driving on a suspended license, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The alleged offense date is back in 2018. This warrant issued in 2019. And you're going to have an arraignment hearing in this case June 24th, which is this Tuesday at 9 in the morning. That is 6 days from now in the Peoria City Court. Your bond is $100. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with your release conditions. They include no driving without a valid license and go to court on Tuesday. Everything's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you'll be all done. Thank you. Mr. Dick, and then Juan Rodriguez Quinones. We go to the chair. All right, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth?
Fernando Dick, 12/18/82.
Okay, thanks. You're here on two things. One is an arrest warrant in a newly filed or newly charged criminal case. The other one is a warrant from Encanto Justice Court. So I'm going to start with the felony case. You've been charged in a criminal complaint with 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 2 counts of narcotic drug possession. All of those are Class 4 felonies. Also, drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Looks like the offense date was back in January 7th of 2025. If that doesn't ring a bell, you will get police reports and a copy of the charges from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your status conference is going to be in 2 weeks. It is July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning with a preliminary hearing July 8th at 8:30. Those are in the downtown Superior Court. The address is on your paperwork. And on this type of case, even with your criminal history, you do qualify for release on your own recognizance. That means we will give you a chance to go to court on your own. It's been like 14 years since your last conviction. So this is a drug case. We're going to give you a chance to come on your own.
Okay.
If you prove that you won't, you're going to end up with a bond. So come. I gave you a lawyer. People in your situation are, even now, getting offers of probation and treatment. That is up to the county attorney. There's no guarantee.
Okay.
But if you don't show up, they're not going to be very motivated to give you a probation.
I'll be here. I'll be there.
So go talk to your lawyer, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Now, you're also here on a warrant from Encanto Justice Court in a driving on suspended license case. This looks like it is a pending case. It may be that you owe them money. It looks to me like it was a pending case.
It's just,
One second. Okay, so in this case, and honestly, because I'm releasing you in the drug case, I'm going to give you another chance to go to Encanto Justice Court because I hope you know your lawyer will be super unhappy with you if you pick up a warrant while your drug case is pending. Unfortunately, looking at the paperwork, I have to give you the same date and time. So I'm going to tell you what to do. It's July 3rd. It's in the afternoon, so it's not the same time, but there's no way you can be in Superior Court in the morning and make it to Justice Court in the afternoon. You're not going to make it. So you need to call ahead. We do have the Justice Court phone numbers on our paperwork. So when you have your paperwork, you get out, you've got 2 weeks to call the Justice Court and say, hey, can I get a different court date? If you don't do that, they're going to issue a warrant, and you're going to be landed right back in jail.
So
you've been released in this case before. I can see that. You got released around January or February, and you just blew it off. So I am already giving you a do-over. I just want you to know that I can see it, because if you do it again, we're going to see it, and you're going to get stuck with a bond.
Okay.
Everything is on your paperwork. Don't lose it. Don't miss your court dates. If you blow this off, it's going to end badly.
I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna.
Good luck, sir.
Okay,
Just
thank
have
you.
to left to get your paperwork. All right, Mr. Rodriguez Quinones, and then Kennedy Durrell, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth?
Juan David Rodriguez Quiñones.
Which date of birth, sir?
December 19th of 2006.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for reckless driving, which is a Class 2 misdemeanor, and criminal speeding, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for both of those. I'm not appointing a lawyer for you, though, because we don't appoint lawyers in this type of misdemeanor case. You have the right to hire one at your own expense or to represent yourself. Your next court date is going to be July 2nd in the Manistee Justice Court. That's on your paperwork. It's going to be at 10:30 in the morning. All of that will be on your paperwork. And I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on the theory that a night in jail and getting your bike impounded for 20 days is enough to convince you that you should go to court. And I will say a point in your favor, even if you did exactly what they accuse you of, you did not flee from the cops, which is a felony. You didn't commit the ultimate dumb decision, which is commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor. So these are misdemeanors. Go to court, deal with them. They will never go away. I'm only telling you this because you're young and I don't see any criminal history listed for you. The system does not forget. If you blow this off, we don't forget. We may see you 7 years from now, but there will come an unpleasant day when somebody grabs you and says, you have a warrant that's been outstanding. So just go. That's my pitch. Go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to spend them.
So do the smart thing. Go deal with it. There's, and I think this ought to be enough to convince you that you never want to come back here. As long as you show up in a case like yours, you may very well never do another night in jail. So
I
just
have
go.
a question for you.
What's that?
So to get my bike back, I have to wait those 20 days, or I could just...
Yeah, you got to deal with, is it Phoenix who arrested you?
No,
CPS?
yeah, Phoenix. Yeah.
Who is it?
Phoenix, I think.
Phoenix? Well, whoever got you, and right now, it looks kind of like
I think it was
DPS to
strict.
me. DPS, yeah. So DPS, you need to Google it. They're going to have a website with the Property Bureau and all of that. You can call the Property Bureau and say, where's my bike? How do I get it? What do I need to pick it up? They deal with that all day, every day. So they are right now, they're saying we're sitting on your bike for 20 days. So you have to deal with them. We don't order them to do things. And so but they're definitely going to have some guidance on the web, I'm sure, and a number you can call to get specific instructions about how to go get it and what you'll need to pick it up, okay? All righty. Good luck, sir. If you step to your left, you get your paperwork.
Thank you. God bless you.
Mr. Durrell?
Morning, Your Honor.
Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Kennedy Christopher Durrell,
What's your date of birth?
12/28/1991.
Okay, thanks. You're on a new case. You were arrested for allegations of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony, and failure to obey a police officer, which is a Class 2 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those. I'm not appointing a lawyer for you because you don't financially qualify. You do have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense or to represent yourself. Your two next court dates will be in the downtown Superior Court. The address is on your paperwork. The first is a status conference, July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing, July 8th at 8:30. And I don't see much criminal history for you. I saw an eyebrow-raising arrest from 2012. There is no listed disposition. So, and I see a disorderly conduct arrest with a court dismissal, but that's over 10 years old. So, even though I don't love these facts and they don't tend to suggest that the person will come to court and voluntarily surrender to state authority, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and give you a chance to prove whether you will or won't come to court.
Thank you for the mercy.
Absolutely no contact with the alleged victim. The officer is an alleged victim in a resisting arrest case. Okay. That is by case law.
Thank you, ma'am.
No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no contact with any of the arresting officers. Everything is on your paperwork. You just need to comply with your basic conditions and come to court. Will you do those things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. Then we will see you downtown, July 3rd at 8:30. Everything's on your paperwork.
And then just a quick confirmation on firearms, alcohol. I have legally owned firearms, so simply don't touch them.
Get them into somebody else's possession where you do not live. If you exercise dominion and control over them, you are in possession. That means my car is in the parking lot. It is in my possession. I'm not in it. I can't even see it. Oh, it's in my possession.
Okay,
this
so
is my pen. If I put it on the desk, it's still in my possession. So possession is a legal definition. So you need to get them into someone else's possession where you do not live.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck. Take your paperwork. You'll be all done.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, are you Mr. Kate? No, are you Mr. Durrell?
Kate.
You're Mr. Kate, okay.
Yes, ma'am, yeah.
And then Elton Driscoll, we go to the chair. Mr. Kate, can I have your full name, date of birth?
Cameron Kate, December 11, 2001.
Thank you. You're on a new case. You got booked in for a whole pile of things. After reading the probable cause, I found probable cause for 2, not the others. So I'm going to start with the 2. The 2 are driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs while impaired to the slightest degree. They have amply provided probable cause on that. It is a Class 1 misdemeanor. They also provide a probable cause on failure to stay at the scene of an accident, which is it's listed as a Class 1. I'm pretty sure it's a Class 2 misdemeanor. It is what it is. They've made probable cause for the failure to stay at an accident. So, for purposes of this hearing only, because we do not dismiss charges, these allegations are not dismissed against you. I'm just not setting release conditions based on them. So they are. So these are just accusations at this point. The county attorney will decide whether they go forward. 5 allegations of obstructing a criminal investigation or prosecution. Those are Class 5 felonies. No probable cause for those. Resisting arrest with a resist of physical injury. They did not describe any action which would have met that standard, or they failed to. So no probable cause for that either. They also alleged DUI with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or more, but they don't allege any breath test. So there's no probable cause. You need an alleged breath test for that charge. So again, I only found probable cause for DUI while impaired to the slightest degree and leaving the scene of an accident. So I am appointing a lawyer for you. You do have to go to Superior Court because right now you are accused of felonies. Your case is going to Superior Court at this moment in time. Your status conference will be July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That's about 2 weeks from now. Preliminary hearing, July 8th at 8:30. The address in downtown Phoenix is on your paperwork. Now, on these facts, I consider, because I can do it in a felony case, making you alcohol test, etc. I'm not doing that because when I look at your history, wrong button. When I look at your history, even though there is evidence put forth that you have an addiction to alcohol, and that is categorically dangerous when someone is behind the wheel of a 1,000-pound-plus car, you don't have a history of DUI offenses. And so, yeah, that's today's, okay. Yeah, the thing in New Hampshire was just operating without a license, it looks like. So, in any event, it is very iffy to me whether you're going to end up charged with any felonies. And so I don't want to waste taxpayer dollars testing you. So, no contact with any alleged victims or complaining witnesses. That'd be whoever was in the house. They didn't specifically say that you hit the house, so those people may not be victims. Don't go back there. If your car is there, or you think any of your belongings are there, you can go to that location on a civil standby with a law enforcement officer. You need to bring a cop from that jurisdiction. It looks like it's a Buckeye.
Yeah.
Bring a Buckeye officer if you think your car is there, if it hasn't been towed.
Okay.
Don't just go there on your own.
Yeah.
No drugs without a valid prescription. No alcohol. Do not drive without a valid license. And you can look yourself up on the MPD website to check if they've taken action against your license. Make sure your address is current, because if MBD mails some action to your current address, it's effective. It doesn't matter if you don't live there anymore. They don't have to prove you actually got the notice, only that they mailed it to your last address. So if they're going to take action on your license, you need to make sure your license is updated so that you find out. Everything is on your paperwork, Mr. Kate. Go to court on July 3rd. If the county attorney decides to do it as a misdemeanor case, that's when you will find out. Everything's on your paperwork, okay? Thank you. Mr. Driscoll? And after that, we're going to do Stephen Smell's case, then officer after Smell, after the FOJ, officer. I'm going to do my house call, and then we need to. All right, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth?
Elton John Driscoll.
What's your date of birth?
12/3/72.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I am appointing a lawyer for you. I'm going to give you 2 court dates in the downtown Superior Court. Status conference July 3rd at 8:30, preliminary hearing July 8th at 8:30. Based on what the police presented, they did not provide sufficient information to make probable cause on these charges. So for purposes of this hearing only, I am not finding probable cause in your case. That does not mean it's dismissed. It means you're entitled to be released. So I am releasing you.
Awesome, thank
And I
you.
may well have done that anyway.
Okay.
But you're entitled to be released when we don't find probable cause.
Okay.
But wait for it, the case is not dismissed.
Okay.
You have to go to court. I did give you a lawyer. You're just entitled to go home.
Okay.
So go home. Don't miss your court dates. I did put a phone number on there. You can call a few days in advance if you want to find out if your case is actually going forward on the 3rd. But everything is on your paperwork. I think you're probably going to tell me something about how you didn't do it. And I will tell you, it doesn't matter. I didn't find probable cause. I'm releasing you. You literally got the #1 best outcome you could get from me.
And I'm all for it, but I've been like in 90-day recovery.
Okay.
So today was like my first day out of there. So actually I've been incarcerated for like 15 months. And I got sprung like really high. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry, you don't need to say any of
And they
this.
rolled up on me.
This seems like a bad idea.
And busted me with meth. But what I'm saying is, it was my first day out in 15 months.
Well, you should go to court, comply with release conditions, and we're just gonna pretend like you didn't say anything.
So it's not violating parole or nothing like that?
Are you on parole?
Yeah.
Well, that's not, I mean, we didn't know
But
it
I
yet.
haven't violated.
It's up to your parole officer
Yeah.
whether they put a hold on you. We don't have anything to do with that. The DOs can check for you after court if a parole hold has popped up.
Okay.
And they can let me know, because if they did get but I didn't find probable cause. I can't put a placeholder on you if I didn't find probable cause. I can't put $1 on you.
No, I appreciate you.
You'll find out through the release process if DOC put a hold on you.
Okay.
But here's the thing, and you're always, I know this is a standard provision of parolees, is you have 24 hours to call them from release. So if you get released, you need to call your parole officer.
Okay.
Check in. Don't forget. Like,
Okay.
the worst thing you can do is start dodging them. That's how
Oh
you're
yeah.
gonna land back.
Yeah. No, I've been keeping my tabs. I've been doing my monthly check-ins, and
well, good
I've
luck,
only been
Mr.
in jail for maybe 8 hours, so it shouldn't even affect my parole. But I'm glad you're letting me out, because I wasn't thinking I was getting out.
I would imagine you're probably surprised.
And it wasn't even worth it. Like, I barely got high. I didn't even get to smoke no pills or nothing.
I would tend to agree it was not worth it. All right. Well, good luck, Mr. Driscoll.
bye-bye.
Take care.
Governor, you want Mr. Small?
I do, Mr. Yeah, it's. Mr. Smell, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Stephen Robert Smell, May 19th, 1961.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Smell, you're here on 2 warrants from the state of Texas, and that works differently than in-state warrants. Can we get them to keep it down, please? Or you can shut the door, I don't care. All right, so, with emphasis, all righty. So, Texas has 2 warrants out for you. One is from Grayson County, the other one was from Dallas County. And in the Grayson County case, it looks like you've got a larceny charge. In the Dallas County case, it's forgery of a government or national government instrument or money, fraudulent use or possession of identifying information of another person. All right, Texas wants you back on these warrants. Before court, you should have been given some paperwork to review on a laminated card. Were you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Did you read it?
Honestly, I can't even see right now.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're not able to read the paperwork, then I'm just going to tell you your rights, and I'm going to set your next hearing. We can give you an opportunity to waive extradition and agree to go back. It's just an opportunity.
I want to go back.
Well, here's the problem, though, Mr. Smell. If you're telling me you can't read it, that's what you're signing. We have to make a record that you understood what you were signing and you had a chance to read it. So I'll give you another chance to read it while we go maybe do a couple other cases. But can you give him the card and let him sit out there when you clear? And then when I come back, I've got to ask you, did you read the paperwork? If you tell me that you didn't, I cannot take your waiver, okay? So I'll give you another chance to read it, Mr. Spell. If it's not a good enough chance, and like I said, my first question, if you want to waive, is going to be, did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork? If you tell me no, I can't read it, I can't take your waiver. So I'm going to give you another chance, but if it doesn't work, then I'm very sorry, and we'll have to set you over for a next hearing in extradition court. You can go over the rights there and get another chance to read that then. So, but for right now, I'm just going to have you sit outside the courtroom gallery. You'll get another chance to read it, and you can let me know when you come back if that was enough or not, okay? All right, thank you. Just go ahead and take the card with you and step out to your left.
You get the rights. So when we make a statement of yes, you can't just I'm sorry, let me transfer it. So we need to because we're making a record. And so that's why I'm like, you can come back and sign it. But just pick up what I'm
All right, we're going to go with Ms. Reynolds first, please. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
My name is Barbara Reynolds. My date of birth is 2785.
Okay, thank you. You've been arrested on one allegation of child abuse as a Class 3 felony. Based on what the police have presented, there is probable cause for that, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. I'm scheduling 2 court dates for you in the downtown Superior Court. The first is a status conference July 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, which is about 2 weeks from now, with a preliminary hearing July 8th at 8:30 in the same court. Now, in your case, the state did recommend a bond, but on these facts, it's this court's belief that if I get an ankle monitor on you and get you away from where any children are, I'm going to order whatever I do. I'm going to order you can't have the care or custody of children while the case is pending. Provided that you're complying with those, I think you can safely be released into the community. But my plan is to put you on an ankle monitor with drug testing. The ankle monitor is to ensure compliance with the conditions of staying away from kids and where kids are living. And that, of course, includes the alleged victim, the younger child. You can't have contact with them. That is the alleged victim in this case. So you can't live with that child, and you can't have the care or custody of anybody else's kids, even temporarily, without a further court order. So that means under 18. I think you may have adult children. Do you have adult children? It's fine to have contact with them.
No, I have 5 in total. All of them is an adult except my toddler that they took last night.
So it's fine to have contact with your adult children. It's just the toddler you can't have contact with right now.
Yeah, they took him to, they wouldn't even allow my older one to get him.
Okay. Well, and so at this point, it sounds like DCS is probably involved, and so that's going to happen through them.
I understand.
What's that?
I understand.
Okay. So in this case, don't have any contact with the witness or the arresting officers, no weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. And what I've written as far as where you can live is, because I realize that it may be that if the toddler's not in the home, you could go back and live there. And so what I wrote is, you have to find alternative residence and provide proof of new address within 24 hours. You can do a civil standby, collect belongings. Then I wrote, if pretrial services is able to confirm within its sole discretion, which means however they choose to confirm it, that no child under the age of 18 is residing at the residence, then you may return to and reside there only with the advanced permission of pretrial services. So I just want them to confirm Nobody else has kids under 18? Do you have any grandkids there or anything? Okay.
No, ma'am.
So I just want, pretrial services will basically probably have to do a site visit real quick
That's fine.
and just say, okay, we're good, DCS has the kid, or maybe it's up to them how they do it, but they may be able to confirm with DCS, yes, we have the kid, good, then you can go and live where you were living. I just don't want you to live where the child is living and saying, well, I'm not taking care of him, someone else is, or her.
No,
Apologies. Okay. All right, everything is on your paperwork. It does take, it's going to delay your release a little to get the ankle monitor, but you should be out later today. The hookups will happen probably a little bit in a few hours. I'm not sure when they come. They send an officer to do the hookups for anybody who needs one. So you'll have to wait for that, but you should hopefully be out by tonight. Okay?
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Step to your left, you'll be all done. All righty. And then if we can, are we able to switch? Yeah, thank you. Sounds good. Yes, yeah, I'm pressing on that, right.
Like, if they were out in population, because it is co-ed population, if she were to call her. And I don't, you never know. So and even though I really don't want to.
All righty, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth?
Denzel Wilson, July 24th, 1994.
Okay, thanks. You're here on 4 total matters. 1 is a new case, 3 are probation holds. In the new case, you've been accused of 3 counts of sexual conduct with a minor, aged 15, but from a position of trust, making each of those a Class 2 felony. 2 allegations of luring a minor for purposes of sexual exploitation. I meant to change this on your paperwork. Those are Class 3 felonies. I'm not going to have them reprint it for it because it'll stay. The law says it's a Class 3 felony. The police just erroneously marked it as a 4. It's a 3. That's the luring. So there is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court dates will be 2 in the downtown Superior Court. That address is on your paperwork. The first is a status conference, June 24th, followed by preliminary hearing, June 26th at 8:30. Now, in this case only, without reference to your probation cases, let me double check the state's recommendation. Yeah, so the state is recommending $250,000 cash only. I understand why they're recommending that. And in this case, the court might have gone higher if not for the probation cases as well. There is abuse over a long period of time alleged and multiple offense dates, which increases the likelihood of conviction and the likelihood of a lengthy prison sentence. So the court is very concerned about flight to avoid possible prosecution and conviction. The court is very concerned about the potential for victim or witness safety and intimidation or retaliation. Based on all of those, on the totality of circumstances, the court sets bail in your case at $100,000 cash only. By law, if you post that, you must be on an ankle monitor because you are accused of sexual felonies against children. So you have to wear an ankle monitor. You may not have any contact with the alleged victim, not from jail, not out of jail. You may not go to the scene of the alleged crimes nor live there while the case is pending. Absolutely no contact with anyone under the age of 18, and that very much includes your own children. When people are accused of this type of offense, research strongly indicates that their own children can already have been or become victims of that type of behavior. When people are alleged to a degree of probable cause to have engaged in sexual contact with children, their children are also in danger. So absolutely no contact with your children unless and until you get a different order from the trial court. No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no alcohol. Now you are also on probation in 3 felony cases. Probation will be filing petitions to revoke your probation in all 3 cases based on this new case. So you will have a lawyer appointed in all 3 of those cases. You have the same next court date in each of those cases. It is June 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That's in the downtown probation court, and the address is on your paperwork. And that'll be a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. Now, 2 of the cases, that is your Class 2 felony probation case and your Class 4 felony probation case, the one that is not a Prop 200 case, which is number 33 on the calendar. This court finds that you will, in all reasonable probability, suffer a term of incarceration, which means go to prison. So you are not given bail today. The court finds you are not eligible for bail. You're held no bond. Now, the last case, number 32 on the calendar, that is still a Proposition 200 case, which makes you legally entitled to bail. Bail is set in that case in the amount of $50. It is what we call a placeholder bond. It is there to ensure that you're eligible for credit for time in custody and that the sheriff's office will take you to court for hearings in that case. So everything I've just told you is on your paperwork. You should end up with the same lawyer for everything. You will be back in court next week. You step to your left, he's got that paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to make my house call record while you go get Mr. Smell. Oh, and is Andre Murphy not physically present in court because he's been isolated by the sheriff's office as a potential danger to himself or others?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I do have an affirmative answer on Mr. Murphy. So I will see Andre Lamar Murphy, born 11/194, in-house for his initial appearances. He's here on one new case and one probation hold. In the new case, he is accused of aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol. And that's a class 4 felony. I do find probable cause for it. I am appointing a lawyer for him. His status conference will be June 24th at 8:30 in the morning with a preliminary hearing June 26th at 8:30. So it's in the downtown Superior Court, and we will have the address on his paperwork. I'm currently inclined to set bail in the amount of $5,000 secured with alcohol testing and monitoring and written conditions that I will go over with him, which include no going to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. He's also on probation for a class 3 felony, and the probation department will be filing a supplemental petition to revoke his probation based on this new crime, singular. So I'll advise him that I am appointing a lawyer for him, giving him a court date of June 25 at 8:30 in the morning. That's a revocation arraignment of possible disposition hearing in the downtown Superior Court with the address on his paperwork. And based on what's been presented, this court finds that he will, in all reasonable probability, suffer a term of incarceration in his probation case. Therefore, it is ordered holding him without bail in his probation case. If anything changes after I see Mr. Murphy in-house to conduct this initial appearance, my final written order will reflect the court's ultimate decision in the case. It's not the court's intention to update the recording afterward. All right, Mr. Smell, you can go ahead and come back in, sir. We're always trying to multitask if you can do one thing while other things are happening. All right, Mr. Smell, you go ahead and go up to the podium. We're going to go back on the record in number 16 and 17 on the calendar, which is the Smell case. And Mr. Smell, did you have a chance to read the card? Were you able to?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then let me go ahead and ask you the questions, because it sounds like you do understand the rights you have. Would you like me to summarize the 4 rights that you have?
Yes, if you would, please.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have, sorry. So you have the right to have an extradition hearing. Just 1 second. All right. All right, I'm going to read you from the script to make sure I get it all right, okay? All right, if you were to choose to have your extradition hearing and not waive, right? If you're going to have your extradition hearing, I will then set your hearing for, let's see, it looks like June 30th at 1:30 in the afternoon in the downtown Superior Court. I cannot appoint an attorney to represent you because extradition matters are civil cases. But you would have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense if you choose. Extradition is not a criminal matter. The criminal matter is happening in Texas. You are entitled to bail in these cases. Even though Texas ordered one of these as no bond, it appears under Arizona law, as we currently understand the facts, that you are entitled to bail. I would set bail in each of these cases at $40,000 secured if you don't waive extradition. If you don't want to give up your right to an extradition hearing, you are entitled to bail. But if you are unable to post that bail, you would be held in custody during that time or until another judge modifies your bail. All right, and lastly, a governor's warrant of both states is required to extradite you to Texas. That process may take up to 90 days. It cannot take longer than 90 days, but they have up to 90 days to get the governor's warrant and give you your extradition hearing here in Arizona. That is a right that you have. Now, if you want to sign a waiver of extradition, I will need to ask you questions. As we are making a record of the proceeding, I do need to establish that you understand the rights you have and then I will ask if you want to give them up. Do you have any questions for me before I ask you those questions?
I do, I just, I don't want to take up your time.
If I can answer your question, I will. Unfortunately, I can't give legal advice, but I can give you information on what may happen depending on what you decide.
My whole thing with this was that I've had a service animal for 13 years, and I was hoping he'd die so I could go take care of this, but he didn't. So I want to get it done. I want to take care of this. So I think I should just go.
There's only two basic outcomes from this case. From this hearing. We can only do two things today. I can either set your next hearing, you keep your rights, and I'm going to set your bail. That means you're on a 90-day path toward an extradition hearing. And if you can't decide today, that's what I'm going to do. You're going to keep your rights, I'm going to set bail, and I'm going to give you your next hearing. The only other choice today, and it is your choice, is if you want to give up your rights, you can do that, and that will start a 30 calendar day clock running against Texas. Texas will have 30 calendar days to come and get you. If they don't, you do get released, but the warrant stays active in the national system, and you could be rearrested on it. But if you want to give up your right to the extradition hearing, there will be no governor's warrant. You will not have any more court dates because there's no more extradition case if you waive. You'll just sit in the jail. We have to hold you no bond if you waive. You'll sit. Texas will have 30 calendar days to come and get you. It starts the day after you waive. So if you waive today, Texas's clock starts tomorrow. That is provided you don't have any other Arizona charges or holds.
I don't have.
Right. If you do, then it starts at the conclusion of the Arizona matters. So really all you can do today is waive or not waive. If you want to waive, I can take your waiver, provided I'm able to ask you the questions and I'm satisfied that you understand what you're doing. That will start the 30-day clock, and you will be held no bond. That's if you waive. If you can't decide, if you just don't want to waive, I'm going to give you your next court date on June 30th. I'm going to set the bail, and I'm going to...
so it'd be $80,000?
Correct, secured.
And that's 80. That's not 10% of the 80,000.
Well, it can be 10% to a bail bondsman, but you need collateral, and that's negotiated between you and the bail bondsman. And the 10% to a bail bondsman is a fee. You never get it back. It's a fee. And then they want collateral for the full amount, but you do have to negotiate that directly with them. It's whatever they are demanding. And you can shop around for a bail bond service. You are also able to request a bond reduction at your next court hearing. I'm setting bond in line with what Texas asked for. You're allowed to ask for a change, and it is up to the extradition judge whether she does that or not. Again, all we can do today is you can waive. That starts a 30 calendar day clock against Texas, and you're held without bond. You do not go back to court. If you don't waive, you will go back to court June 30th, and I'm going to set that bond. It'll be $80,000 total, and the state is going to start working on those governor's warrants. That's the big thing that they have to do. That's why they need 90 days, because they're sending things back and forth to governor's mansions in 2 states. They need an actual signature from the actual sitting governors. So that's why they get 90 days. If you don't waive, it takes time to get those governor's warrants. So, but you won't go back to court if you waive. You can't change your mind. If you don't waive today, I'll send you to court on the 30th. If you change your mind and you want to waive on the 30th, you can waive on the 30th. This isn't your only opportunity to waive. It's just your first one. If you waive today, the waiver clock starts June 19th. If you waive on the 30th, the waiver clock starts July 1st, and the waiver clock is the 30 days. That's really the only difference. Is you can start the clock now if you wanted to. You could also start it on the 1st of July if you wanted to. So I can't decide for you, Mr. Snow. I understand it is very complicated. If you're not able to decide, then I'm just going to have you keep your rights, and I'm going to send you to court on the 30th, okay?
I'd rather just I'd rather just take care, do what I need to do to take care of the warrants out of Texas.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Well, it does, but I
that.
guess I'm not sure. I need to be very clear that, are you telling me you want to waive your rights and give up your right to an extradition hearing and agree to go back?
I think I'm gonna have to deal with this. It's not gonna go away, so I'd rather deal with it sooner than later.
Okay.
You're making it I appreciate your time but it doesn't matter. At some point, this has to be taken care of. I would rather do it sooner than later, so.
Okay. So the
help?
reason that I'm trying to be very specific and trying to get you to be very specific is that if you're going to give up legal rights that you have, I am required to make sure that it is clear that that is what you wanted to do. If you're giving me hedge kind of statements, that doesn't work. You have to be super clear. Do you want to do this or don't you? If you respond by saying, I think it's a good idea, that's not an answer.
But there's no, Your Honor, I understand what you're saying, but you're making it sound like by me not giving my rights up, that there's some upside to that.
Oh, no. It's just that then you have them and you could change your mind later. If you waive your rights, I will absolutely take your waiver, provided you understand the rights you have and you want to give them up. I will take your waiver, and that is absolutely fine. But if you're feeling unsure, if you're not sure you understand, then part of my obligation is to protect your rights. And I don't want to take a waiver from you if I'm not sure that you understand it. Not only do I not want to, I'm legally obligated not to. So I just want to make sure that you know what you're doing. And then if you want to do it.
If I don't give up my rights, do I get an attorney so that I have somebody I can talk to?
I cannot appoint one for you.
No, I'd have to get my own.
But what I'll tell you is, there is a public defender who is generally assigned in extradition court, not because anyone has the constitutional right to it, but because our county has the resources, and it helps a lot if we've got somebody in court who can give people advice. She can give you legal advice, I cannot. She's very experienced. She's been the same woman for at least a decade. Now, she is not individually assigned to your case unless the extradition judge chooses to do it. You can request it, and then it is entirely up to the extradition judge. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. She decides. It is not in any way up to me. I don't know the criteria that she uses. So we do not promise you we will ever assign you a lawyer, because you're not constitutionally entitled to it in a civil case. You are in a criminal case, but that's in Texas. So, can you talk to a public defender at the next hearing? Definitely. But is she individually assigned to your case? Not unless the extradition judge does it in her discretion. So we don't just blanket tell people that, because it's a little complex. But I didn't want you to think you couldn't ever speak to a lawyer, when I know for a fact we do have a public defender who just works extradition court so that she can give advice to defendants, if that helps you make a decision.
Wow, this is just a lot to sink in.
I know.
I think, and I'm sick, so. The worst case scenario is I'm waiting 30 days, and maybe I'll get a public attorney I'll be able to talk to.
No, if you waive, sir, if you go on the 30-day clock, that ends the extradition case today. There's no reason to have court hearings if you gave up your right to them.
I mean, if I said that backwards.
Oh, okay.
So worst case scenario, I'm here for another 30 days, but I might get an opportunity to talk to.
No, I'd say the worst case scenario is you're stuck in jail for 90 days on an $80,000 bond that you can't afford, and you get to talk to a public defender. There's no 30-day clock that gets you to a public defender. If you pick the 30-day route, you will not go back to court on this case. You will sit in the jail and wait to see if Texas comes to get you, because think about it. We do not give you a next court date if you gave up your right to the hearing that court date relates to. You will end the case with me. You and I will end the case today. If you waive and go on the 30-day clock, there is no extradition case. You agreed to go back. And so you just sit in the jail. You will not see a lawyer from us. You will not go back to court. The only way you go back to court is if you keep your rights. Then you're on the 90-day clock. You'll go to court on the 30th because you're going to have about 2 court hearings before the actual extradition hearing. The extradition judge is going to have this first one that I set, then she'll have another check-in, 30 to 60 days out, and then your actual extradition hearing. So you go to court because you're on the road to an actual extradition hearing. If you waive extradition, you're on the road to nothing. Texas either comes to get you or not. You will not see a lawyer.
Then I don't want to waive.
You want to keep your rights? Okay.
Yes.
That's the way that you end up in court on the 30th, possibly talking to a public defender, okay?
I think that sounds.
Okay. All right, makes sense. And it's the safe choice in terms of you could always choose to give up your rights on the 30th. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to the PD and you go, fine, I'll agree to go back. You can still do that. But if you waive today and 2 days from now you tell them, can you take me to court? I want to undo that. They'll say, nope, you can't take it back. That's why I think, if you're unsure, it is probably better to keep your rights and go to court because you can take it back. But if you waive today, you can't take it back. All righty, we're going to print that up for you, sir, along with a copy of the rights to keep. We'll send that out to you, okay? All right, good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and then you got to sign it. So
I've changed it to yes, and then have him sign, and then they would have him come over, and they have to hand sign on electronic. And then she prints it, and I say, you are going to get a copy for your sign, get in the card, they're signing that card. That's why I want to extension. First person in America is you tell me to do it.
He's going to be taking me out here in a second. I promise.
But I appreciate, if I can take a case off the plane, if they're nice, they don't know. I'm sorry.